How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was down about 8.7% on the day. We also had some big time news that came out in the after hours, so I can't wait to share that with you guys. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $17.64, being down 8.74%. On the low, it tested $17.61, and then on the high, testing $19.34. Taking a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 36.887 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 21.973 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but you can see we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 29.85. So yes, it is in that oversold territory. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that Lucid is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. And you can see we made another low as far as being the test of $17.61. If you guys remember what I was saying in my previous video, there's a strong possibility if we have weakness inside of these markets, Lucid could come down to this $16 area. And by the look of this red candle, if we continue to have more weakness going into tomorrow, that'll definitely happen. Now, if you're going to be looking for a reversal, of course, we ended up seeing a high of $19.34. So we know that Lucid needs to make its way back to $20. And the last time we had resistance in that area was at $20.01. And if it's able to actually break through this level, then you want to see Lucid reclaim the 21-day EMA, which is now set at $21.63. But we know strength in Lucid comes when it's at $22 and then essentially making that move to 25. But like I said in the previous video as well, I do not see this happening for this week. So let's see if it continues to pull back, because I know there's long-term investors out there that want to continue to keep an eye on this. So now let's go on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at recent filings here, you can see as far as for the 26th, we have URTH that purchased 13,258 shares. We also have USA that purchased 17,619 shares. And then we have Nationwide Risk Managed Income ETF that purchased 107,182 shares. And we also have LBay that purchased, this is actually a short position that they took of 1,399 shares. And then we have Nationwide Maximum Diversification that purchased 18,686 shares. And as you can see from the red, we do have closed positions coming from 4 institutions. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 57.63%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.64 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 150,000, updated 4 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.73%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 22nd, it was at 63.91. And then for the close of the 25th, being at 57.63. So what this shows us, and taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, especially since the short percentage of the float is at 19.57%. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see on the inflow it's at 83 3.10 million, and then on the outflow it's at 131 million. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 40.12, and then on the small it was 42.98. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 14.53, on the medium it was 66.42, and then on the small it was 49.78. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, April the 26th, that big time outflow of negative 4.53 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.38%. So yes, this is above average, above what we're normally used to. But keep in mind, there was a lot of selling pressure inside of the market today, and we saw this happening, especially knowing that we have big tech companies that were going to be coming out with earnings inside of the after hours. They did come out from Microsoft and as well as Alphabet, and it wasn't impressive. So again, we did have some weakness. We'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, before we get started, let's go over the recent press release that came out inside of the after hours. So Lucid reports a deal for the government of Saudi Arabia to buy up to 100,000 vehicles over a 10-year period. No terms disclosed. So let's go into it further. So Lucid Group setting new standards with the longest range, fastest charging electric car on the market today announced an agreement with the government of Saudi Arabia under which the government will purchase up to 100,000 vehicles over a 10-year period, with an initial commitment to purchase 50,000 vehicles and an option to purchase up to an additional 50,000 vehicles over the same period. Delivering up to 100,000 Lucid electric vehicles in Saudi Arabia represents another pivotal moment in our acceleration of sustainable transportation worldwide, said Peter Rawlinson, Lucid CEO and CTO. We are delighted to be supporting Saudi Arabia in achieving its sustainability goals and net zero ambitions as outlined by Saudi Vision 2030 and the Saudi Green Initiative by bringing our advanced luxury EVs to Saudi Arabia. As a part of the agreement, the government of Saudi Arabia has pledged to purchase vehicles including the Lucid Air and other future models built and assembled at Lucid's existing Arizona factory and its future international manufacturing facility in Saudi Arabia. The order quantity is expected to range from 1,000 to 2,000 vehicles annually and increase to between 4,000 and 7,000 vehicles annually starting in 2025, with the delivery of the vehicles required to commence no later than the second quarter of 2023. This will support the government's drive to diversify the economy, provide thousands of highly skilled job opportunities, and provide economic benefit to the kingdom in line with Vision 2030. The purchase price of the vehicles will be determined based on the lower of the standard retail price for the applicable vehicle in Saudi Arabia and the standard retail price for the applicable vehicle in the United States, plus the logistics and the importation costs and other costs of delivering the homologating vehicles to regulations of Saudi Arabia. So this is definitely some great news for Lucid, but one thing we have to be aware of, the market conditions are not doing well at the moment. So even though we did have a strong spike inside of the after hours, when it comes to the market open for tomorrow, I think it's going to be very interesting for this play. Now let's talk about the price action. So we saw that it broke right through $18 and then getting down to $17.61. So as far as for tomorrow, alongside with this catalyst, we want to see if Lucid can make a move to go back to $19. If it can reclaim 19 and then make a further move up, the key level that it needs to hold is at $22. Like I was saying inside of the technicals, I don't see this happening, but who knows, with this catalyst I could be proven wrong. But from when we take a look at how the price action has been as of late, since it is inside of the tech sector, don't be surprised if we have a strong sell-off. But if you are a long-term investor, this is some great news to know, and you might want to say, well, you know what, let me think about taking a position. I can't give you guys any advice, so you have to make sure you do your homework and you do your due diligence. But just know, as far as for the bullish upside, you want to see it get to 22. And if it decides to go to the downside, we know we want to see if it could actually hold up support around $16.10 if the $17 area does does break. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see that institutions have been loading up on shares. Plus, on top of that, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. So that's why you want to keep a very close eye on this play going into tomorrow due to the catalyst. I'm going to make sure that I do it and keep everyone inside of the Discord updated. And if you want to join us, you can find that link inside the description as well. So let's see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. But one thing that is for sure, I'll be keeping a very close eye on it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.